welcome to SteamPunk. This is your host, SteamPunk Bob, and apparently the ghost is dead. At least, that's what I got from Google Translate when I punched in the title of today's game, Larva Mortus. I had expected something like the Children of the Dead or something. Upon work with the individual words making up the title, I assume the exact phrasing they're going for is something like Mask of the Dead. On the positive side of the gratuitous Latin, at least it's not, say, Fabula Nova Crystallis. Larva Mortus has a much better told, overall more coherent story than that franchise, too. Larva Mortus has you as a nameless agent for a monster hunting organization. Sort of like Helsing, Summers & Belmont LLC or something. There's randomly generated missions to let you find new gear, gain experience points, or even just get used to the game. So, what is this game? It's a top-down action game where you fight the creatures of the night, starting with a sword and a revolver. As you move on, you get a second pistol, a shotgun, a machine gun, plenty of weapons so far. The story missions revolve around trying to keep a magical MacGuffin from falling into the hands of evil while putting out fires all over the world. Well, all over the world as long as they're basically in the northern hemisphere. And not in Asia. I at least haven't been to any missions in Asia yet. And even then, the game is not exactly a fount of knowledge on the subject of geography. Greenland cannot be reached on foot from the United States. This is not Greenland. Monsters are rather generic. We have zombie dudes, skeletons, acid-spitting spiders, spiky balls of doom, big ol' monster guys, and my personal favorite so far is it's a ghost. It's a zombie. No, it's... Oh, come on. Look at this guy. How can I not think this monster is the undead version of Superman? There's some RPG elements, but they don't feel important. Maybe they've been building up as I go along, and I've just been subconsciously min-maxing because I'm that good, but each point feels uninteresting. Observation boosts experience gain, constitution, more HP, health regeneration, resistance to frost and poison, item drop rate, walk speed, and melee damage. Problem is, if I choose observation for a level, it's not like my other stats go up at all. So it's something that you might put a couple points in early and then never touch again. When I die, it's usually fast enough that only a few extra HP wouldn't save me, so Constitution isn't too valuable, and health regeneration isn't strictly necessary. Frost and poison don't seem to hamper me very long after I get out of the source of it, so resistance is dull. And now that I have as many guns as Doom Guy, if I run out of pistol or shotgun ammo, I just whip out my crossbow for a bit. So, item drop rate isn't that important. Melee damage isn't too important because almost any monster you're willing to get into melee range with will die to your sword in one or two hits anyway. If a monster is so tough that you're unable to use the sword, then don't. Shove a shotgun up its ass. This leaves one stat that feels to me like it's really important. Walking speed. I'll admit, it's impressive I can walk at all while carrying a literal artillery piece, but apparently with more practice killing monsters, I can carry my hyperspace arsenal even faster. There are several bits of polish I really like in the game. It may have collision damage, but it has collision damage both ways. If you have a hard time killing a bat while it keeps bouncing around and tagging you, eventually it will die, its strength sapped by trying to chew past your bulging muscles. This is actually what is boosted by the melee damage upgrade, not your actual damage swinging your sword. Monsters are also affected by neutral hazards in rooms, like the ones that have bouncing spiky balls of death. Monsters are instantly turned into hamburger by them. Even faster than you, actually, because they're not smart enough to get away from them once they make contact. The way the akimbo pistols work is pretty nice. If you only need to use one pistol's worth of bullets at a time, or you want to make sure that the bullets are fired from the center of your body to make it easier to hit something like a stupid bat, you can use the pistol selection button to switch between using one or both. They obviously use the same pool of ammunition, but there's some times where the bullet fired by one of your hands would just be wasted. I also like the way the ammo HUD and reloading work. Your revolvers are shown as if you're looking at the cylinder, and you can quickly top off when you need to. Your shotgun is shown in a similar fashion, but it's an old-school two-shell type of deal, so it's unlikely you'll explicitly need to top it off. Odds are you'll just fire 2 shells in rather quick succession. The story isn't very deep, but I stand by my statement that it's a much clearer, better told story than the Fabula Nova Crystallis franchise. Of course, picking on Final Fantasy XIII's story isn't just going after low-hanging fruit, it's getting out a shovel to dig for some sort of subterranean fruit-like growth. Larva Mortus has a simple story, but I understand what's going on and why I'm doing things. Find the magic MacGuffin before demons use it to hurt people. Done. The rest of the missions are just randomly generated, go kill monsters and or rescue people, so you can get experience points, top off your ammo, get more practice with the game, find the randomly spawning achievement monsters. Yeah, the achievements are all, to the best of my knowledge, a big monster has randomly spawned. Kill him, and he drops a special item. Now, complete the level without dying. I don't know if there's any way to encourage them to show up or what, but each of these trophies does give you a tangible benefit in other missions, so they're worth hunting anyway. Most of what I've found have been things like bonus XP, but I also found free luck points and more damage for my shotgun, and the achievements list mentions things like carry more ammunition for all weapons and double damage with the sword. So they all at least look somewhat valuable. As it stands, Larva Mortus is a basic action game where you kick down doors, shoot monsters, and chew bubblegum. And bubblegum hasn't been invented yet. I got it cheap, and I don't feel ripped off. It's fun, it just doesn't have much staying power. I doubt I'll play it much more after this review, but it's already earned its keep. Anyway, this is SteamPunk Bob, out.